The time is now. It's back to the rhymes. It's like, wow, he's back to the rhymes. I'm in the booth straight dropping dimes. Clark Kent Daily Plant the Metropolis Times. I write these raps while I'm under the gun. I see you back to get you some. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. Pure, raw, uncut rap. Back to the rhymes. Now's the time. Time to unwind because back to the rhymes. Back to the rhymes. Now's the time. Time to unwind because it's back to the rhymes. All right. So I will discuss the look if there is one that you're noticing. If you're not, no problem. But let's start with the list. Number one, Schoolhouse album sales. Um, this is the album. I 4th of July, we'll be doing some work on that. I'll come back to that. Country song, didn't get a list, didn't really expect it necessarily, didn't push hard for it. Probably couldn't have got to any country bars here in the last however long, but that's the next step, I would say. I think about what Chris said when she said she's seen a lot of bad bands. That gives me a lot of belief that I can go out there and be a part of a bad band myself. If you can get out there and perform and be a bad band, okay, that's probably a good thing to start out as. It's not stopping them, so yes, it's good. Um, where would I mention this? I don't want to forget. So there's a fellow from church. I didn't know he has. Let me come to it now. So YouTube channel. So my daughter wants me. I'm going to call her. I said, "What's your title?" Her title is content assistant for media content assistant. I guess she is why this is here. She wants to make this look more interesting. No shoji screen, better lighting. She just thinks I can give myself a better opportunity, and I think she's right. Is it a little hard in my eyes? Maybe a little, but I'm realizing I can handle it. Thank God for that. It's not the end of the world. Yes, I would say it probably does look better, right? And that's important because you're, of course, looking for people who've never seen you before. So a first impression is a lasting impression. Um, so this fella, it's called Marmalade something Marmalade. Can't remember, but they got a band. They're doing some songs. He's the vocalist. It's just I have my uh, style preference when it comes to singing. Uh, he's going with the more contemporary sound. I think that's probably a good way to say it. And but I think he might be able to pull off a more traditional sound. How's that? Is that fair? Not making anybody mad or offending preferences. Um, so anyway, yeah, let's see what happens. So him and his band put their music on Spotify, and that's where they're at right now. So on 4th of July, the plan is with my daughter's help is to get one. I've got to do my 4th of July, and the best I can come up with is to just see what I have at home, see if my mic's working still, see if I can just even do it from the house and record it. And I think that would be pretty successful. I thought of a couple other things, but it's going to take a good amount of time and some people's help, and I just don't think that's going to happen. So let's just stick with doing better than last year. Last year was just the instrumental with the car speakers. This year will be a sound system if the mic's working, if I can find it. I think I can. I hope I can. And then I will record it from the house. And then that will be this year's edition. And then I'll start planning next year, hopefully a little better. Again, I find myself in a situation where my schedule is still getting ironed out. Feeling better about it, but it's a little tricky. So by this time next year, God willing, I'll have a nice, simpler schedule, more control over my schedule. All right. So the to-do list for her, in her mind, for me to accomplish is to, I'm at a table, so I can kind of, do all this stuff. But Spotify, TikTok, upload my. So she says we got to get the album Schoolhouse uploaded to YouTube, uploaded to Spotify, and also she was talking about doing a bed of bread, another one which I have 12 others. None of my songs are on it, but and then she wanted to see about getting my Aaron Too Sick, my friend there, to do another piece, maybe album cover or something like that. We'll see. That'll take a little bit. It won't take maybe a lot, but it'll take something. But I said, well, I could go do a Bed of Bread Volume 12. I have that ready to go. Some of them have been stolen, as I mentioned, but I have some. I know all the songs. If I were to look through all my CDs, I could figure out and approximate at least the songs and do something close to what I had before, because I know what the songs are, more or less. One song I was looking for, I don't think I could find, was I was going to tell Aileron about that God Complex. I think you mentioned this last week. That's not on there. I don't see it. So that's cool. That's Jason Black. Okay, so what am I talking about? Oh, Instagram, that's rolling. So yeah, we'll get the TikTok. And I'll say we'll just leave it at that. It's not like a vacation day. It doesn't sound very vacation-like or relaxing, but it's stuff I should do to improve this, what I'm doing here. And I appreciate her help, I can assure you, in her perspective, because she's a consumer a lot. She likes booktubers, people who read books on YouTube in particular. That's her kind of what she's into right now. Of course, whatever K-pop, in particular Twice, that's her favorite group. All right. I should have got an update on how many times I've shared the Roots of Our Faith. It's probably in the mid-50s. I did a couple here this past couple of days, but I've been a little behind on that. So I think 4th of July I might share some of those. We'll see. See if I can get that closer to the goal. But like my daughter we were talking about, she's like, hey, don't worry about sharing it, just get it on there. We'll do the sharing part later. Okay, rules of engagement, nothing to talk about. Bellevue Ballers, I guess, like I said, this song I'm doing right now is related to it, and I will maybe talk more about that during the writing portion. And I better get some more writing done. I didn't get a lot done last week. So music for Back to the Rhymes, I was telling you, like this fellow Andrew, it's like, and he's got a band. We'll see. I got Aileron. I got Alex. I got to get back to him. And like I said, I get one day off a week. I got to try to be judicious. Is that a good word? Do I have my dictionary here? With my discretionary time, with my days off. So, yeah, I just don't try to hurry and try to do too much. And I kind of, in some ways, don't try to do anything. And then if something's going on, I'll do that. But, okay. So merch. Got this right here. Get that merch. Don't push, don't shove. Just come get it. All right. I could talk to her, Natalie, about getting a way to, putting that on the YouTube channel, how to shop for merch. I think we're getting better at. My wife's doing more Zelle or PayPal and all this business. Got to have it, right? All right, so Trump's going to thump. Natalie, so it's Natalie, that's my daughter. She's kept asking me, who recorded this video? I could do a better job. So she's dead set on having an iPhone, which is good. I also have good stuff in the beginning. And I was like, that's my producer / videographer. I was on a tight budget, so that's what we got. I think they'll just have to do. But yeah, I'm sure it probably gets overlooked somewhat because of that. But oh well. Nothing too much to add to what's going on in the political race. I think there's a debate in August, right? So I just I'll get back to it. You'll be glorified, nothing new. So I'll just talk about Robert Kennedy. This guy is literally a godsend in terms of political discourse. And anytime he's given the opportunity to talk, he just does so good. One thing that's so funny, and I think about a lot of stuff, like I'm delivering mail, I got thinking time, right? It's like I've heard people are hung up about his voice. For one, it's clearly not his choice, his voice. It is what it is, and it's damaged somehow. But to me, it's almost because of how he has to speak. If you're interested in what he's saying, you got to sit and listen and wait for him, which is fine. So I remember Chuck Knox one time, the old Seahawks coach. He was, I don't know if I ever shared this, but I heard that he spoke really quiet, and then the players they're sitting in the back were like, "Coach, we can't hear you." He's like, "That's right. You need to get up here. I'm going to talk quiet, and you're going to come to me. So get closer." Anyway, it's pretty good. So, yeah, I go back to how does someone like that now, if he were to, it's one step at a time. I guess if you self-identify as a Democrat, you probably hang on to that as long as you can. But your policies, I guess, they obviously the media's job is to divide and pit people against each other. And he's saying he doesn't agree with, let's say, what Trump's saying, but he appreciates him saying good things about him, and it's cordial. And that's kind of the bottom line is to have a cordial conversation to work through these issues, as fellow Americans, and arrive at whatever conclusion we arrive at without the person who disagrees with you to be just somebody you wouldn't want to have anything to do with. That's kind of the spirit that I think he's trying to bring to the discussion, which is not typical. And of course, Trump goes hard, but he knows that's how they're coming at him. I think if they weren't coming at him that way, he wouldn't go that way, but he's used to that, and so he goes with it. I don't think Robert Kennedy's approach doesn't sound like he would be doing that. It sounds like he's going to walk through it, so, but yeah, he's going to take a lot of heat, and you hear about anyway, it's just, it just comes back to people in power. You hear this over and over. It's talked about over and over. But the more the average person could have an awareness of the big picture, the more that we as individuals have more power to the people. That's really what it is. And so if more people are interested in this kind of stuff, the less they can get away with, right? Okay, that's the bottom line. So I'm ready to make some raps. Okay. So what do we have so far? We are taught how to create wealth is the name of the song. We are taught how to create wealth, just not for self. Oh darn. We're more likely to learn how to envy the wealth we've created for others, envy the lives they live, envy the trips they take, feeling not the power to have our own stake. And so I was able to do that for my short and all that Instagram. So I'm just going to kind of I just don't think it's been done a ton, you know, for just raps. And I'm just going to kind of go through. Now I'm reading The Monk and the Merchant. It's a good book. It's not changing my life at all because I've become familiar with the concepts over time. That's Terry Felber, who's a fellow business owner, independent business owner out there, and he's retired, but he knows about the kind of work I'm interested in for sure. And that's my prayer. He's got Dave Ramsey as his the person who did the foreword for his book when they reprinted it. And we just got to get Dave Ramsey fully up to speed with what's going on here, because I just think there's a natural partnership, and there's relationships are in place to. I would think it's kind of like the politics. It's how you talk about stuff, you know. Certainly, you're not endorsing it. That could be okay, but I think it's good to be fully up to speed with the heart of those who are leading our group, and being able to say, you know what, I think it's well worth checking out and coming to your own conclusion, not being dismissive and helping others, thwarting them coming to their own conclusion, because you're saying something, they trust you, so they're going to hear you, and then they're going to close their mind and not come to their own conclusions, right? So that's kind of where the wars wage, the battles wage. All right. So, feeling not the power to have our own stake. So I majored in sociology, was studying it, was learning from people. I had a professor, a teacher in Shoreline Community College who he gave us a book called "Where You Born Is Where You Die," and it was going after the robber barons, the capitalists, and all this stuff. And there's something there. There's crony capitalism. There's all that, but we're not slaves to these folks, you know, and that's just the bottom line. I think the miseducation comes in the form of being led to believe you're to work for somebody else. Now, again, the concept we talk about in the people I'm in business with is a business building job. Therefore, it's a partnership in essence. Yes, I'm working for you, but not forever. And hopefully you can appreciate that. The career in the world we live in nowadays, careers are not what they were before, where you work for the same company forever, pensions and all that. So it's already understood that you got to be a little bit more adjustable, adaptable, malleable to make your path. It's not just going to be show up and for 40 years later, then you'll be done or something. 40-40 plan. All right. So envy the wealth we've created for others. Envy the lives they live. Envy the trips they take. Feeling not the power to have our own stake. So, feeling not the power to have our own stake. Why might we feel this way? And there is something to be said for effort, hard work. Yes, we're trying to put together hard work and smart work. You work hard in the wrong vehicle and the wrong. There's no track record here. For being successful. But anyway. So the things I think about, I've thought about or understood for so long, I take for granted. But I get people aren't being taught this way. So why might we feel this way? Give us 12. Oops, it's getting harder to read. Give us 12 plus years of formal education and how you expect to feel. To think. To go about. Not a fan of the term adulting. Sounds weird. It's very useful, but come on. To think, to expect to feel, to think, to go about your day to day. Why delay prosperity? Should I say it like that? Why delay prosperity? So, why delay prosperity? So unnecessary. I hope I'm spelling necessary right. NECE, two S's, right? It's necessary. Oh, I hate to spell that wrong. I think I got prosperity right. Prosper, ITY, right? I mean, necessary is a very common word, but man, I just don't want to spell it wrong. Yes. Yes. Yep. Okay. All right. So, why delay prosperity? So unnecessary. Here's my thinking. Once I understood it, I embraced it, and people can choose to do what they want for themselves. They want to teach somebody. If the goal here is to make more than you spend, I mean, are we working to live, living to work, right? So if we're living to work, better like it, better be for us, all that. If we're working to live, then it's going to be make more than you spend and grow that, right? So if, my daughter could be making way more money right now were it not for all these rules, because she's got the tools. Let's try that. So unnecessary. If you know the rules, and you got the tools. And you got the tools. You'll get to make your own rules. And not kowtow to fools. Kowtow, I believe, is Kowtow. That sounds kind of rhyme of the week-ish. Kind of rhyme of the week-esque, right? Okay, so kowtow, a Chinese salutation in which one touches the forehead to the ground, an expression of respect or submission. An obsequious act to perform a kowtow to show servile deference, fawn. Okay. Chinese Mandarin. K. To knock head. Okay, well, anyway. That's interesting. So that's a Chinese word that's in our language. Okay. That seemed like it might be slightly translated a little bit, but so that's what I'm saying. At a young age, when back in the day, you could be making money at a very young age. Let's say if you're an adult around 13, 10. Again, what's the purpose of life? What are we here for? To make money? Are we working to living? So what is all this? So, well, the education my daughter is receiving is good. So much of it's, in my mind, not very useful. But she's got to be in school somewhere, it appears. I suppose I could just say, you know what, you don't need this, just drop out. I guess I'm not going to do that. And I know my wife wouldn't be up for that. But my God. And it's hard to make money anyway. So what else are you going to do? She's not doing the athletics or whatever, not doing whatever. I don't know. I mean, I went to college in the beginning because I wanted to play baseball, not because I wanted to go to college necessarily. I wasn't against it. Turns out I actually liked a lot of the academic and intellectual discussions. I didn't know that. I wasn't like that in high school that I was aware of, but I enjoyed it. But no reason to pay that kind of money to learn this stuff. So that's what I'm kind of going to get into maybe next time I get back to the rhymes is time you spend in school, unless you know what you want to do with that degree, taking that money and putting it, you're making money instead of investing, quote unquote. I mean, people get a degree and end up not using it. Therefore, they delay their income earning that they would have been having, along with making the same money. I mean, we could look at case after case. Can you get a refund from those colleges? Can you waive their student loan? Maybe that's what it should be. We're going to forgive student loans if you went to college and wasted your money and never used your degree and you never could use it. They could have just told you that up front, but they're going to take your money, right? So can you get your money back? Maybe we can work on that. that could be a discussion if you guys want to talk about that instead of forgiving student loans. How about refunds?